Okay, I think we're ready. Hello. It took me a few attempts, but I think I've got this figured out now. So here we go. This is my first TOEIC live lesson, and this is going to be TOEIC Reading 2, Unit 1. At my university, I teach TOEIC Reading 1. This is 1. And TOEIC Reading 2. I'm not actually using these books for these live lessons. Just like in my classes, I don't actually use the books during my lessons. I use worksheets that I've made or that I'm making. I've made them, and I'm continuing to edit them based on the topics in the books, and the students use the books for homework. So anyways, I'm starting with Reading 2 because that's what I'm teaching now at my university, and in the future I'll do TOEIC Reading 1. So if you're not familiar with the TOEIC, it's the test of English for international communication, and there's listening parts 1 through 4 and reading parts 5, 6, and 7. And parts 5 and 6 are on grammar, and 7 is on reading. So we're focusing on grammar. All right. And today's topic is parts of speech. Nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, and conjunctions. And I realize that no one is watching this lesson live, most likely, but hopefully in the future there will be people watching and you can participate. Anyways, I'm going to go through each section, and if you're watching this recording, you can pause the video and try to answer the questions. Either way, I'll give you the answers. All right, so nouns. What are nouns? What are nouns? Nouns can be people, places, or things. That's important to remember. So here are some examples. People: teacher, sister, taxi driver, coach, friend, mother, etc. Places: classroom, Busan, home, the moon, the store, bedroom, etc. And things: textbook, pencil, air, sandwich, love, money, bear, candy, etc. Okay. Hope the AC doesn't bother you, but it's kind of hot in here. So in sentences 1, 2, and 3, find and mark all of the nouns. Take a moment and do that, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, so neighbors, that's a noun. They're people. And in number 2, we have 3 nouns. They're all places: Busan and, city and Korea. My neighbors are noisy. Busan is the 2nd largest city in Korea. And number 3, the refrigerator is broken. Refrigerator, that's a thing. Okay, good. And now in 4, 5, and 6, fill in the blanks with an appropriate noun and see if you know what kind of noun you use for each answer: a person, a place, or a thing. So take a minute or two and do 4, 5, and 6. Pause the video whenever you need to. All right, here are the answers, or my answers. I like to read books, or maybe you said blogs or articles, or short stories, whatever. Okay. And make sure that you have an S or whatever the plural form is. It will most likely be an S. In English, we use the plural form for general ideas. Ideas, that's the plural of idea. Okay, number 5. My mother goes shopping at the market, store, mall, etc. every week. Good. Number 6. Look at the beautiful, behind me, sunset. So here we can have things or people, baby, woman, painting, etc. Good job. And now pronouns. So pronouns replace other nouns, and they can be subjects or objects. So if we're talking about John, we're not going to say John, 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 John. John is my friend. John is Canadian. John is a teacher. John likes to scuba dive. We're going to start with John and then switch to he or him. John is my friend. He is Canadian. I met him last year, etc. All right. The same with women and things, etc. So we have he and him, and she and her, it and it, we and us, you and you, and they and them. So it's a good habit when you're studying a foreign language, in this case, English, to think about how your L1, your native language, your first language, compares to your L2 or target language. So my students are mostly Korean. So for example, in English, we would normally start with the person's name. He, June, is one of my students, and then switch to he or she. He was in my class before. But in Korean, they often would use nothing. They would just use the verb. Okay. So find and mark all of the pronouns in the sentences below, and then indicate what each pronoun refers to. So for example, he, June, is one of my students. He was in my class before. So he, that's the pronoun, and it refers to he, June. All right, so try that with 6 and 7. All right, here are my answers, the answers. So we have he. That is a pronoun, and in this sentence, it refers to John. Where did you get the pizza? It's really good. You is a pronoun, of course, but we're not worried about that right now. We're focusing on it. It is a pronoun, and it refers to pizza. All right. And now fill in the blanks for sentences 8, 9, and 10 with the correct pronouns. Take a minute or two and do that. Okay, here are the answers. Dr. Park works long hours, so he or she is usually tired when he or she gets home. How do you like my new shirt? Isn't it beautiful? Referring to shirt. And number 10, I hope you don't mind if Minu and Patty come to our party on Saturday. I invited them, Minu and Patty, last week. All right, good. Let's go on to verbs. Verbs show action normally, but also state, meaning they connect the subject with more information. So, for example, action verbs would include eat, cook, study, go, run, talk, etc. And you'll see them in different forms, like to eat, eat, eats, ate, eaten, eating. Then you have state verbs like be, feel, seem, look. Right? And they connect the subject with an object or an adjective, such as unbi is happy. So be tells you about unbi. James is a scientist. So scientist tells you about James. All right, so in 11 and 12, mark all of the verbs. Again, anytime you need to pause the video to do the exercise, you can do so. So here are the answers. 11, the baseball team played very well. So played is an action verb, and unbi is Korean. Be is a linking verb. It tells you about, or Korean tells you about unbi. Okay, 13 through 15, fill in the blanks with an appropriate verb form. With an appropriate verb in the correct form. All right, here are the answers. Mrs. Choi is sick, so she isn't going to work today, or feels sick, or got sick. All right, so be careful with verbs like feel. Mrs. Choi, she feels. All right, and Da Young made a cake, bought a cake, got a cake, baked a cake, ordered a cake for her boyfriend's birthday. Or you could change the tense and say usually makes, buys, etc. Or you could say is is going to buy, bake, order, etc. Good. And number 15, if you study hard, work hard, try hard, you will do well in this class. Number 15, let's talk about adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns. What are nouns? People, places, or things. So for example, a red car. What kind of car? A red one. That tall building. That building. What building? The tall one. Let's get some chicken. What kind? Spicy chicken. A wonderful person. How was the movie? It was a boring movie. Okay, so in 16 and 17, find and mark the adjectives and indicate what they describe. So red describes car, tall describes building, etc. All right, I hope you're ready. Here are the answers. So we have red. Red describes balloon. Balloon is a noun, it's a thing. Angela is funny. The adjective is funny and it describes the person Angela. Next, fill in the blanks with an appropriate adjective. 18 through 20. You can pause the video if you need to. Or you can just think about the answers or say them out loud. My sister likes to read what kind of books? Science books, history books, comic books, etc. Eugene bought a purple car, an expensive car, etc. 20, Captain Michaels wore a wrinkled uniform yesterday. Whoops. An old uniform yesterday. A beautiful uniform, etc. All right, now adverbs. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. For example, they sing beautifully. Beautifully tells us about sing. Very cold. Cold is an adjective. How cold? Very cold. And other adverbs. Very, very old. Old is an adjective. How old? Very old. In fact, very, very old. We have two adverbs. So now you need to mark the adverbs in the sentences below and indicate what they describe. So beautifully describes sing, very describes cold, very describes very, very describes old. And notice that if you use the normal form of the typical adverb, which ends in ly, it goes after the verb normally. All right, here we go. Slowly is the adverb. And slowly describes what? Swam. The weather is very hot. Hot describes what? The weather. Mr. Choi sings really enthusiastically. So we have really and enthusiastically as adverbs. Whoops. So really describes enthusiastically. And let's just copy and paste that. Enthusiastically describes sings. So if we say Mr. Choi is enthusiastic, enthusiastic describes Mr. Choi. He is an enthusiastic singer. Enthusiastic describes singer. He sings enthusiastically. That's an adverb describing sings. Okay, in 24, 5, and 6, write in some appropriate adverbs. Here we go. My grandmother was very happy at the Christmas party, or quite happy, or really happy, or kind of happy, or not very happy, or not too happy. The weather is very hot, quite hot, really hot, a little hot. Be careful with so and to. With so, you normally need that. The weather is so hot that I can't work or I can't sleep. With to, the weather is too hot for me to go for a walk. All right. This is a little bit different, not too happy. She wasn't too happy. All right, and 26, our neighbor plays music really loudly at night sometimes, or quietly or beautifully, probably loudly. All right, prepositions. They link nouns, pronouns, and noun phrases to each other. So we have to, from, under, until, and on. So quarter to 12, to connects quarter And 12, from him. From connects present, maybe, with him. Under the bed, under would connect something like cat in bed. Until Friday. Connects Friday to something. Mary put the book on the shelf, so on connects book with shelf. So do that with 27, 8, 9. Find the prepositions and say what they connect. All right, here we go. To. To connects present and Jim, the J. And everyone looked at her. So at would connect. We're talking about nouns, pronouns, and noun phrases, everyone and her. Kind of looks like it connects look and her. All right, the products that we need are in the warehouse. So in connects products and warehouse. Okay. Now fill in the blanks with an appropriate preposition. Here we go. My best friend left his phone in my apartment, at my apartment, inside my apartment, in front of my apartment, near my apartment, etc. Number 31, the little cat slept on the bed, in the bed, under the bed, in front of the bed, near the bed, etc. So the difference between on the bed and in the bed would be, if this is the bed, I don't know if you can see it, on, and then in would be meaning under the covers, under the blankets. All right, and 32, your assignments are due on Friday. So just due on, not until or by. You have until Friday to finish your assignments. You have to finish your assignments by Friday. Those are a little bit different. Due on, they go together. All right, conjunctions. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? It's an old song. A kid's grammar song. All right, so they connect words, phrases, and clauses. So for example, up and down, and connects up with down, sad but true. But connects sad with true, either Tom or Tammy, or connects Tom with Tammy. Hot yet comfortable. We have yet connecting hot and comfortable. And then we might have some clauses. I went to the beach and swam, and I swam all day. So clause A, I went to the beach. Clause B, I swam all day, and connects those two clauses. All right, we're almost done. So in 33, 4, and 5, mark the conjunctions and then indicate what they connect. Pause the video if you need to. So and connects apples with, there we go, oranges. Good. The people in the meeting are upset because the people outside the room are talking very loudly. So we have the conjunction because. And we have two clauses. The people in the meeting are upset. That's clause A. And the people waiting outside the room are talking very loudly. That is clause B. All right, whoops. Where are we going? Okay. Good enough. So clause A, we'll call this, that's what it is, and clause B. So because connects A and B, clause A and clause B. 35, we will go for a walk when it stops raining. Where's the conjunction? It's when. And again, we have two clauses. We will go for a walk. Oops. And it stops raining. Clause A and clause B. So when connects A and B. And finally, fill in the blanks with an appropriate conjunction for 36, 7, and 8. All right, here we go. Our director wants us to work on Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday. 37, you cannot leave because you haven't finished, or if you haven't finished. And 38 rather. Ronaldo will buy a new pair of shoes when he has enough money, or if he has enough money. So that's it. I hope you were able to follow along. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. So please leave some comments below if you want to, and join me next time. Thanks for participating and watching, or just watching. Hopefully you can participate in the future. And have a nice day. Thank you.